You are listening to This is Oklahoma, hosted by Mike Hearn, telling stories of Oklahomans and those that have made it their home.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of This is Oklahoma Podcast. Mike Hearn here, your host, back with another episode. Excited to share this episode with you today, but before we do, I've got to thank our sponsors. First of all, the Oklahoma Hall of Fame. They've been a huge part of this podcast for the last few years. So the Oklahoma Hall of Fame have been sharing Oklahoma's story through its people since 1927. For more information on the Oklahoma Hall of Fame, go to www.oklahomahof.com. And for daily updates, go to oklahomahof on Instagram and give them a follow. Our other sponsor today is the Chickasaw Nation. Now, the Chickasaw Nation have sponsored pretty much everything in Oklahoma. They're a huge supporter of Oklahoma, and it's an honor to have their name and their brand supporting this podcast. A huge shout out to Governor Anatobi for supporting this podcast. It really means a lot. Our third sponsor is Diffie Ford Lincoln down in El Reno. Now, this one makes me so happy because these guys are great friends of mine, play a lot of golf together. I've bought my cars from them, do most of my oil changes down there, have a cup of coffee, hang out down in El Reno. It's a good spot to go. And not only are they great friends, but they provide a great service. So for over 60 years, third generation family owned Oklahoma business down in El Reno. They're also in Bethany as well. So people in the Bethany area know the Diffies really well. But if you're looking for anything new, used, Ford, Lincoln, or whatever, I'm sure they could find anything you want. Check them out, diffieford.net, and then on Instagram at diffiefordlincoln. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of This is Oklahoma. Mike Hearn here, host, back with another episode. This is our last episode leading up to Small Business Saturday, which is this Saturday, which will be tomorrow. It's the Saturday after Thanksgiving. And with me today is Jane Childress, who is from CK & Company in Nichols Hills Plaza. So, Jane, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. Excited to hear about your story and about the store. So, yeah, how's your Thanksgiving week going so far?
Great. Thank you for having me. And it's an honor to talk to you a little bit about CK & Company and the history of getting ready to be 41 years.
Yeah. So before we get into the business, tell me a little bit about yourself. Were you born and raised in Oklahoma?
I was born and raised in Kentucky,
Okay.
and came to the University of Oklahoma on a tennis scholarship, and went through business and marketing and advertising at the University of Oklahoma. Graduated and got married into a family who had been in the retail business for many years, and we started it together, and he kind of went off and got into something else. I stayed in, and so it's been a great business, and it's been a great life, and very rewarding.
Yeah. How different was it when you came from Kentucky to OU? What was the big shock?
Very windy. Very windy. Playing tennis with my coach the first season, of actually just right off the bat came out and started playing, and playing at Will Rogers, a tournament, and it was so windy. I thought, what have I got myself into? And obviously I have loved it, and stayed around, and have had some businesses in other areas, but this has always been the headquarters.
Yeah. Tell me about getting into tennis. How did that happen? And obviously you were very good and good enough to play at the collegiate level. So tell me about your tennis journey.
I started playing tennis when I was 10 years old, and my mother owned concession stands in the parks. And so probably out of not wanting to work in the concession stand, I started playing tennis. And my first season, I won, I don't know, say 5 out of 7 of the events I entered into. And I was very fortunate. My father was an athlete and was a college athlete and semi-pro athlete afterwards. And so I probably had pretty good genetics from that. And so I was just, I was very fortunate and successful in my early career. And I had a passion and a love for the sport. And so I decided to pursue it in college. And so I played until the second semester of my junior year.
Okay. Who was your tennis idol growing up?
Well, you watched Chrissy Everett, and watch Billie Jean King, and I guess those would be my two.
Yeah, yeah. So you said you played up until kind of like your junior year. What was the choice to stop playing, and then what was the
I think
focus? Was it focused on
realizing
business?
realizing that I wanted to be a student, I wasn't going to pursue tennis after college, and um, that was partly it, I guess. And I was in a sorority, and I enjoyed that, and I wanted to um, have a little more exposure than what I was doing.
Yeah. Did you think, I mean, you said your mum kind of owned a concession stand, so she was quite entrepreneurial as well, and your dad being an athlete, and with those two role models growing up, was entrepreneurship kind of on the brain when you were in school, or did you think that you were going to go on and kind of start your own company or go work somewhere else?
I, I think as a lot of college kids do and young kids, I thought I could conquer the world. I had a lot of confidence, and I probably had a lot of confidence from sports. I think that um, helps build that. And so, yeah, when I got out, I was ready to conquer the world. And, um, life has its ups and downs, it has its bumps, and it brings you to your knees many times. And then you say, you know what? I can get back up because I know how to get back up. And I think being an athlete, sometimes you have you have an extra gear that some don't have.
Mhm.
And I've had to call on that extra gear many times in life. And so I'm resilient,
Mhm.
and I'm a survivor, and I thrive. And I think that's probably why I've been in business 41 years.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, it speaks for itself, right? Like a lot of businesses don't, very few businesses get past the first few years, and the fact you've been in business for 41 years. Have you always been in that same location for 41 years, or different
And
locations?
I've been in Nichols Hills Plaza for 41 years. And
Wow.
I've been in a couple of different spots from the north side to the south side of the plaza,
Mhm.
but always here. And then I've had a store in Norman and Dallas and Houston, but always in Oklahoma City, always in Nichols Hills Plaza.
Mhm.
I've gone through a few different ownerships, and but this is home, and this center is home for me, and I try to do all that I can to promote it and help it, and and watch the changes as they take place.
Yeah, there's been a
So
lot of change over those 41 years, right? Been a lot of change, and
I've been a lot of
we had Jessica from Balliette's on the podcast, and she spoke about obviously Balliette's has been there a very long time as well, and how she's excited to kind of continue that legacy, and obviously you guys have been sharing that kind of space in that area for a long time, but it's a great center, it's a great place for restaurants, for
it is.
grocery, for shopping. It's very hard to beat such a great collective group of businesses like Nichols Hills Plaza has.
It's true, and I think when you're centrally located and you're in the heart of a city, uh, and it speaks for itself.
Hmm.
Uh, you can go out into outlying areas, but a synergy always brings you back, and um, we've been fortunate that that's what we chose, and that's where we've stayed.
Yeah, I bet growing up you probably didn't think you'd be in the retail fashion business.
Probably not, but I loved fashion when I was a kid, loved it. And although I didn't have a lot of jobs growing up because I was playing tennis, and so that precluded me working. But my first part-time job was in a clothing store wrapping gifts, and it was a part-time Christmas um, position, but I loved it, and I've always loved fashion. So um, the other aspects of it are great and fun, and I love that.
Yeah. So you meet your husband, and you said your husband's family has kind of retail experience or was in the retail world. Um, was it just a natural fit to dive into the business? Did you think about doing something else after you graduated?
I definitely thought about doing something else, and I really it was not it probably was a natural fit, but it wasn't my, path that I thought I was going down.
Mhm.
Um, but he wanted to open, in Oklahoma City, and so, uh, I I went along with that, and so, um, we're not actually together anymore, but, we're still friends, uh,
Yeah.
and, uh, and I stayed with it, and he has done other things,
Mm.
so
So when you first get into the retail business, is it kind of similar to what it was today, or has it really evolved over the 41 years
very
you guys have been
I
business?
would say well, I guess in some ways it's similar, but, uh, in many ways, with the online business, that's changed, some dynamics, and I don't know that necessarily it has, uh we still have a business that's built on service and, people wanting, quality, a luxury product, and, uh, so a customer still enjoys coming in and being pampered and, uh, being shown, and feeling confident that what we tell them is the truth and that uh, we want to support them and we want to support local. We want that environment to exist and to thrive.
Mhm.
And so we really work at taking care of our customer and wanting so that she wants to stay here. She doesn't want to necessarily go online. She might want to go online and research something and they come in and have us help service that.
Mhm.
So I would say maybe for us it's a little bit different than a different product, um,
Mhm.
where that might not be the case.
Has the business kind of with the products, have they stayed kind of in the same sort of area, clothing, handbags, jewelry, accessories, and shoes and home goods? Is that kind of what you've
Yes,
been in?
we have pretty much the same category
Yeah.
uh, throughout. Some probably when we actually when we opened 41 years ago, we were I would say 75, 85% shoes. We
Mhm.
had 10,000 pair of shoes.
Wow.
Now we have maybe 600 pair of shoes.
Yeah.
And so we are 90% clothing.
Mhm.
The rest would be shoes, accessories, bags. So so we've changed from that aspect.
As far as the business goes, and obviously you've been very good at this because you've been in business for 41 years, but what would you say separates you from competition, from other stores, from people going to Amazon online business? Like what really
Service,
separates you?
service, service, service. Location doesn't hurt.
Mhm.
Uh, but we really uh, pride ourselves on that. We want to take care of the customer. We want her to come back. We want to develop her as a friend and a long-term customer. And we have customers that have shopped with us for 40 years, 41 years. I have a dear friend that has I started out doing doing business with her and then she also shopped with us, but um, throughout the years, she has been a great customer.
Mhm.
And I wouldn't say there are tremendous amount, uh, but there are a considerable amount that have shopped with us all those years.
Yeah. When you say service, dive into that for me specifically. I mean, we got time to talk about it and get into the weeds about it too. Like, and I don't want you to give away all your secrets, but tell just kind of shed a little bit of light in that area. When you say service, and obviously it's following up with the customer, make sure the customer's okay. But um, anything else that you guys really do that you think
We
just
do.
goes the extra mile?
We wardrobe for a customer so that uh, she's ready to buy her season or she's ready to take a trip or we will put together a package for the customer, work with her, spend time with her, show her a comprehensive look, not just one aspect of something, and then tell her now you've got to go to XYZ to get the rest. We try to be a lifestyle.
Yeah. Yeah. And tell me about kind of like the buying side and how you go about picking out the products through the seasons and just making sure that you're providing, not only the best products for your customers, but also something that's unique and they can't get anywhere else.
Yes, we do that. Mostly, I go and I usually take a buyer with me to New York, anywhere between 4 and 6 times a year, um, 4 to 6 times a year in Dallas, and um, it's always trying to provide a product that is um, applicable to the area we live in. Because if you're living in New York, you're living in LA, it's not always the same lifestyle. It's not the same look. And if I'm going to provide that look, it's not going to interpret well to where we are. So we try to find a product that is applicable to our region, but also takes it maybe a little outside the box so that when they travel, they they're meeting those needs of traveling, and maybe it's something they don't always want to wear when they're here, but there are other applications to it. So trying to find new and different products, trying to find products that aren't in department stores, products that are uh, uh, just exclusive to CK and Company. And over the years, I think it's harder and harder to do that, but yet we're going to continue to go down that path and try to find something that's unique. And we sometimes bring some products in from other countries that uh, are exciting and people like, and that isn't everywhere. And so uh, offer something that's a little unique.
What excites you about the retail business, about fashion, about that
And
going back to that girl who you said you used to love fashion as a kid. So what excites you?
I think change. I
Okay.
think uh, always looking. I want to go to market and find something that excites me, not to go back and, I mean, sometimes you have to go back and you have a replenishment to some degree, but it gets really exciting when you find something that we haven't seen before, that we think is really unique, and that our customers are going to love. So that excites me. It excites me whenever we put something together for a mother of the bride, and she sends her photograph back and said, "You made me feel incredible. I had so many compliments, and what a great experience it's been." That that drives me.
Hmm.
So people and taking care of people, making people happy, and uh, you hear the terminology retail therapy. Well, that is making somebody feel great about who they are, and coming in when maybe it's a sad day for them, or maybe it's a happy day, but just enhancing that and helping them to feel great about who they are
Hmm.
from
Yeah.
a fashion perspective.
Mhm. Over the 41 years, obviously as a business owner, there's many ups and downs, many good times, many tough times. What are the lessons you've learned over the 41 years? And then is there any stories of tough times and just breakthroughs and just obviously you've been extremely consistent and persistent to get to where you are. Um, just interested
Sure,
in.
there have been a lot of tough times, but I would say the toughest time that sticks out and to me over all the years, 2008.
Okay.
And we thought the banking industry was going under. We thought uh, there were a lot of closures, and a lot of the department stores were sending product off to um, discount stores, and discount stores were coming into every state and trying to unload, and it hurt. And that, I think, that began this concept of discounting and wanting the consumer wanting the retailer to always discount. I think we've come away from that some, but that was not a trend that ever existed until then.
Yeah.
when the oil industry, Penn Square Bank closed many years ago, that was a tough time. And our state, we had really struggled on trying to get positive and bounce back over that. It took a number of years.
Hmm. What do you ever pass on, your business knowledge to others? Do you have kind of people who can look to you for mentorship in their own retail businesses?
Uh, yeah, I've been a part of a buying office that we've had group meetings from all over the country, and really just share experiences and share common um, issues, common happenings. We've done a little bit of that.
Yeah. What would be your biggest takeaways from being a retail business owner over this last 4 decades?
Uh, be resilient and be willing to change.
Mhm.
Be willing to look at new ideas. Be willing to listen. Don't
Yeah.
be afraid to take a chance.
Was over the time you've been in business, were there times where you thought you were going to go down another road and it didn't work out, and maybe you look back now and maybe that might have worked, maybe that might not have, but was there times where um you know could you have gone multiple directions? Could you have gone into men's clothing, and did you, and why
We did.
why didn't you?
At one time, we had a franchise, which was a Joan Bass franchise, and I did all the catalogs for 13 stores around the country.
Okay.
And it was a business model that was very simplified with one product that sold extremely well. And it just seemed that uh, maybe the way to do it is, instead of this multi-line, uh, multi-category business, just do that and open all these franchises around the country.
Mhm.
So we actually closed the business to do that concept, and ended up not going forward. Well, we stayed with that concept, but we didn't open multiple stores. Then
Mhm.
we ended up going, opening another franchise store with a shoe company, and then just started getting kind of back into it a little bit. But one thing I have done, probably learning from that in this store in the last 12 years, maybe, I did several shop-in-shops where I partner with uh, outside designers and really focus on um, their product, and we partner in some ways.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Do you have a favorite kind of arm of your business, whether it's clothing, shoes, handbags? Like, do you have one that you just like, ah, it's my favorite. I love buying, I love shopping for them.
uh, I've gotten to where I love special occasion.
Okay.
And I think the reason I like it so much is because when somebody is looking for something for a really special event, and I will look through maybe 1,000 pictures to develop just the right grouping of products to show them, and it's crazy, but I love it, and then it's rewarding because you make somebody feel good.
Mhm. Yeah, and I'm sure like, but over, they've shopped with you for so long, you've built up a trust and a great relationship with them, so you put them in something, and sometimes they might not, it might feel like this is a little bit out of their comfort zone, but they see themselves in the mirror, and like they get compliments on it when they, and you get all that great feedback.
That's when you win a customer.
Yeah.
when you're able to take them outside of their box and make them feel comfortable, and they would never have chosen it, they would never put themselves in that, and all of a sudden it's a new look for them.
Hmm. Yeah.
You've
Yeah.
developed
I
a
mean, with fashion, I think we all probably scroll Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook, and think, oh, I'd love to wear that, or that maybe that wouldn't look good on me, but I like it. And we get comfortable, right? We don't we and I think we probably think too much about what other people think about who we are, what we look like, and instead of just wearing that black dress that you always go out in, try something with a little color, and then you get a bunch of compliments. So it is a tough thing to do.
It's true. If you're going shopping and you don't have somebody that you feel confident and comfortable with, and like, if if they come in and they don't know us, until they get to know us, they're gonna buy whatever's in their comfort zone. And so they're gonna have 25 black sweaters, 25 black dresses, if that's in their comfort zone. They're not gonna venture out because they don't feel confident in venturing out until they get to know us, until they feel confident that, oh, wow, you put me in this and I really felt good and I got a lot of compliments
Mhm.
and maybe I should listen to you more. And then you develop that relationship.
Yeah.
And
Do you have anything coming up for this weekend? Any special offers or occasions, or I mean, even for the holidays as well?
we're going to offer a promotion to our customers for Friday and Saturday.
Mhm.
Uh, we, it, we used to give a gift certificate on for this time, but we started doing a loyalty program, so they kind of get gift certificate all year long.
Yeah.
So we're going to do a discount on Friday and Saturday, which is a little bit different than what we've done, but a way to say thank you. And I think we're always about trying to say thank you to our community and to give back to our community
Mhm.
and encourage people to shop local
Yeah.
and shop small.
Yeah, definitely. It makes a huge difference.
It does.
Going back to the tennis side of things, do you ever think about getting into the tennis fashion side and how that's evolved over the years?
Oh, but it is evolving, and
Yeah.
there's a moment for that right now. I've
Mhm.
had some designers send me between that and the pickleball, there's this trend for that.
Mhm.
So we
Are,
we haven't really gone down that path, but
yeah.
it's out there.
Are you out there dominating on the pickleball courts?
No, I'm not, but at some point, if I ever, uh, you know, do something different, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, just don't tell anybody you play collegiate tennis and just let them figure it out for themselves. Oh, brilliant. All right, last question. It's Thanksgiving week. What are you bringing to Thanksgiving dinner?
Oh my gosh, you won't believe it. I've friends coming over, and we went to Spain a couple of weeks ago, and my friend went for a month in the summertime. We're having paella.
Oh,
We're
wow.
having Spanish Thanksgiving. How about that?
That is amazing. I did not expect you to say that. Brilliant.
Totally different.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
fun.
something different, right?
It
That's
is.
gonna be awesome. Well, I hope they cook really well.
I do too.
I hope it goes well because that's a dish that can go downhill if not cooked very well.
We may have pizza.
I'm sure you won't be the only ones eating pizza on Thanksgiving too. Right? That's it. Well, Jane, thank you so much for sharing some stories. Really appreciate your time. For people listening, I'll put the link to the website and obviously Nichols Hills Plaza, CK and Company. You can't miss it. And yeah, I'll put the Instagram link as well. And happy Thanksgiving and happy Small Business Saturday.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And send me that link if on my email if you would.
I will definitely do that. So,
All right. Appreciate it.
you bet.
Thanks for what
Thank
you do.
you. See ya.
Bye-bye.
Hope you guys enjoyed that great episode. Thank you so much for listening. As always, huge shout out to our sponsors, the Oklahoma Hall of Fame, sharing Oklahoma story through its people since 1927. For more information on the Oklahoma Hall of Fame, go to www.oklahomahof.com and follow them on Instagram for daily updates at oklahomahof. Our other sponsor, the Chickasaw Nation, amazing sponsor. They do amazing things for the state, and they're always sponsoring something in Oklahoma. They're a huge supporter of Oklahoma, and without their support, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. And our third sponsor is Diffie Ford Lincoln down in El Reno. Now, this one makes me so happy because these guys are great friends of mine, play a lot of golf together. I've bought my cars from them, do most of my oil changes down there, have a cup of coffee, hang out down in El Reno. It's a good spot to go. And not only are they great friends, but they provide a great service. So for over 60 years, third generation family owned Oklahoma business down in El Reno. They're also in Bethany as well. So people in the Bethany area know the Diffies really well. But if you're looking for anything new, used, Ford, Lincoln, or whatever, I'm sure they could find anything you want. Check them out, diffieford.net, and then on Instagram at diffiefordlincoln.
Thank you for listening. We are inspired by those around us and hope that you are too. Make sure you subscribe to this podcast on your favorite podcast platform and leave us a review so we can keep telling your stories. For more great Oklahoma content, follow This Is Oklahoma on Facebook and Instagram.